It is overwhelming. It's overwhelming in the sense of what little they have, but it's overwhelming the love that they also share with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's overwhelming to us because we see that, but they don't see that. And to have them love you so much, and they do. They do, all of these kids, and it's really a remarkable situation. Kids that are on, we gave them we took over portfolios that some school district had donated because they were misspelled. And so the floors in this school are dirt. I mean, there's only a roof, that's it. So the kids are on the dirt with base 10 blocks, working with me on regrouping. I mean, and it was great. It was just great because they've never had a manipulative in their lives.
Yeah.
Had the geo board, and they were, you know, I did this whole thing about, I see one rubber band go the wrong way, I will take it. They were so behaved, like not like our country. You know, you say don't do it, oh, up it goes. So I think that I mean, I'm going to go back, but when you see, it's really interesting in teaching 4019, and you read about some of the ways that instruction is presented. The British model actually is Platonic in nature. It is of the Plato school. These kids have no engagement at all. The teacher just writes on the board, the kids write it down, and then they all repeat.
Yeah.
No engagement. And I'm very hands-on. So I just had a ball. Well, they wouldn't leave me alone. I had, every single day, there was like 10, 12 kids around me all the time, all the time. And I found it so fulfilling, so fulfilling.
Yeah.
Fulfilling to the point where I want to go back. I found that to see how much when you haven't ever held something to count, and all of a sudden you gave them base 10 blocks as a way to count,
Mm-hmm.
it's what an experience for them.
Yeah.
And to know that you did that, I gave them that opportunity. I was trying to show them the difference. Actually, I was trying to show them multiplication. And I did geoboard as a way for them to count the number of blocks, squares in a rectangle, and then converted them over to a counting to, that's why 2 times 3 is 6. That's why 3 times 4 is 12. Color it in, or make the geoboard.
Yeah.
It was just incredible to see them, because they had no idea about that math could be this way, that math could in fact be a meaningful activity, that there was actually something useful about mathematics. It was heartwarming, absolutely heartwarming, and you know, fulfilling for me in the sense that it helps me understand that I know I'm right. I know that what I am trying to do with these kids makes sense. It's like I had a little laboratory. It's like I was Piaget.
Yeah.
It's there I was. And there are these kids, and I can see them counting. They are having a counting experience. They are seeing why 12 is a 10 and a 2.
Yeah.
As opposed to this thing that's a 1 and a 2. What's that mean? It's a 1 and a 2. No, it's 12. They could say 12 on the way to 1, 2, 3, 4, but they had no understanding what 12 really meant. So therefore, if you have no understanding what 12 meant, how can you possibly add 12 to 2, 12 to 5, 12 to 18? You can't do it because you have no understanding of what really constitutes 12. And to see that, I was dealing with the kindergarten, and Delia and I were doing the human graph, and we're doing it by color. And I just gave out crayons, and then they had to identify their crayon color and then line up. And the way you got them to see that 8 was greater than 6 was to look over and see that the 6 kids that they counted right there were 2 left over here. You know, never thought of it that way. Never saw that math actually does exist. It is not just something on a piece of paper or on a whiteboard. In a way, that story also is a byline for why we try and teach 50-10 the way we do. Because so much, and secondary, look at our secondary. 99% of the time is what? It's where? It's on the board.
Yep.
Now, there aren't always manipulatives or ways, but we can't think different. You've got the content knowledge. You can understand the connections and be more flexible because you're aware of the opportunity around that knowledge. It's really, so Uganda was a confirmation for me. Uganda, I mean, there's all the other things about the humanity, and I don't know, we're not going to go down that route in this, because there is the whole humanity issue. There is the whole issue of no water. There is the whole issue of here is a meal for these kids. Once a day, it might be the only meal they have. That they're in a slum. That they're in the most deplorable human situation. Yet, here's all this happiness in this school. The opportunity for education is, and to me, it was almost like a little laboratory for me to see all that. Only confirms to me that the things that I feel are important really are important, because that helped make a difference, a slight difference. I mean, if you're hungry, all the best math in the world isn't going to help you. But one of the things this humanitarian group did do is they feed these kids. So looking at the whole package of what they're trying to do, I think they're doing the right thing. So I would like to continue to do the right thing educationally, to go back, to participate